Another issue that William faced, or problem William faced, was the potential for a Danish invasion, which became more of a potential for Danish invasion. In fact, unlike Edward the Confessor, who feared Viking invasion throughout his reign, William actually suffered not one but two Danish invasions. But he was able to withstand Danish invasion. Both of them, in fact. The first Danish invasion came alongside the Northern rebels in 1069, when Svein Estrithson decided to agree to send some ships manned by his brother, or led by his brother and two of his sons, over to England. That rebellion, and you may have heard from something else or in something you've read, wasn't particularly successful. But for the Danes, they didn't really lose anything, because William decided, instead of fighting the Danes, which may have led to a serious weakening in his army, because it's not easy to fight the Danes, even though William probably would have expected to win. Well, William decided he'd pay them off instead, and so the Danes went back. However, Svein Estrithson was probably, or seemingly, not very happy with the outcome, and decided to come himself after that. But the northern rebels had been defeated by this point, and the harrying of the north had occurred, so instead he went a little further south to Peterborough and joined up with a famous English rebel hero, Hereward the Wake, on the Isle of Ely. Also, they were joined there by Morcar, and then perhaps even Edgar for a while, though Edgar decided he was going to go north to Scotland at this time. Anyway, the Danish came, and with Hereward the Wake, they raided Peterborough Cathedral, claiming that they were just saving the treasures of the abbey, or the cathedral, from the Normans, when, well, actually the likelihood is they weren't, because Svein Estrithson seemed to decide that he couldn't beat the Normans after all. Perhaps he'd seen some of the Norman castles, perhaps he'd heard of the reputation of William, perhaps he'd realised there wasn't any coordinated effort to remove William and the Normans from England. So he decided to cut his losses, take the treasure he'd stolen, and go back to Denmark. So, two invasions from the Danish, and two occasions where William didn't actually have to fight them, and they left of their own accord. Perhaps again pointing to the reputation of William that went before him, but also perhaps of the way he'd managed to take control of England.